so far as they concern the public or the rights of third persons. With kind regards, I am very truly yours, Henry McMaster, Attorney General. Okay. That's the Attorney General's opinion. Okay, what we are here to do tonight is to determine Councilman Smith's qualifications to serve on the New Orleans City Council. And pursuant to South Carolina Code Section 5-7-210, the notice of hearing was placed in the Aiken Standard to advertise the purpose of this hearing. Section 5-7-210 reads as follows. The council shall be the judge of the election and qualifications of its members and of the grounds for forfeiture of their office, and for that purpose shall have power to subpoena witness, administer oaths, and require the production of evidence. A member charged with conduct constituting grounds for forfeiture of his office shall be entitled to a public hearing, and notice of such hearing shall be published in one or more newspapers of general circulation in the municipality at least 1 week in advance of the hearing. Decisions made by the council under this section may be appealed to the Court of Common Pleas.
Procedures that would be used. I would like for you to identify what conduct under that statute that Mr. Smith has done that constitutes his removal from office.
Mr. Jones, the conduct is his primary residence is 3 Runs Plantation.
I understand that, but this statute says his conduct. What did he do to constitute his removal from office?
He lived in 3 Runs Plantation.
That's correct. And signed the complaint to get out.
So this position is that is his conduct, that he lived because he lives somewhere. It's not what he did now.
It's not, he doesn't live in the city limits.
But he did.
He doesn't anymore.
I understand. Okay.
Point of clarification on that. The judge said that the annexation was illegal. So technically, he was never eligible to hold office.
I'll go ahead and present the facts then. The Attorney General gave you an opinion, and that is strictly, remember that, it is an opinion. And we all know what opinions are. Everybody's got one. And there are dozens and hundreds of opinions made by the Attorney General that are overturned in courtrooms. It happens every day. They just make opinions based on what he thinks the law is right now. And in this particular opinion, we all concede that Mr. Smith lived at that moment in time when he was elected, he lived in the city of New Ellenton to the best of the knowledge of all people involved. There was no objections to that. This council collected tax dollars from 3 Runs. So everybody believed that he lived in the city at that moment in time. There's no argument about that. There's also this opinion, it starts out by section 5-15-20, which says, each municipality in this state shall provide by ordinance for the election of its council, period. There's one ordinance for the city, 7-20 I think it is, and that says to be qualified for a council position, you must live in the city 90 days prior to the election. That's all it says. It doesn't say anything about continuing to live, where you live, how you live. It's just for 90 days prior to the election, you gotta live there.
So,
So you are screaming through the law.
They run for the district house in Greenville. There are no requirements for them to live anywhere. I'm just showing you, the state law says that if Roland Smith is gonna represent my district, he's gotta live in that district.
exactly.
All right. Your law, which is an ordinance, which is the same thing, says you gotta live in the city 90 days prior to the election. He did. He met your qualifications. Now you wanna say, and you can say it, you can make an ordinance today that says, here are our qualifications. You gotta live in the city, and you gotta continue to live in the city throughout your term. That's fine, but that's not what your ordinance says now.
So that's,
Now, there are also hundreds of cases that says, and your attorney can tell you this, and they've used this term hundreds of times, we will take the normal and ordinary meaning of words. They're not gonna try to twist them. The courts are not gonna say, it says 90 days, but here's what it really means. They're gonna take you for your word. It says 90 days, he lived here 90 days. He met your rules. Now you wanna change the rules.
no, we don't.
No, they're not.
No, we
The
don't.
rules don't say you gotta, your ordinance does not say you gotta live in this city for the entire time of your duration.
One question,
Sure.
can he vote?
Can you vote for what?
Can he vote? In
Sure
the
you can
city?
vote.
In the city, can he vote?
Does he live in the city now?
Does he?
That's the question. Does he live in the city
I
now?
asked you a question.
No.
Okay, and the question is, no, he can't vote.
Right.
That's all I wanna know.
But he met your requirements when he was elected. Now, I say, if you wanna change this, and when his reelection comes up, he can't run for office.
No.
But you're wanting to remove him from office, and we're gonna end up in court on this.
Yeah,
So, we know that.
yeah.
Because we know that what your decision is gonna be, I guess, unless you look at it strictly by what the statutes say.
And
He
this
has
is
not
exactly why
violated
the
the statute.
citizens want him off the board now.
He requirements, and he was elected by the majority. So that must mean that the majority of the people that voted for him wanted him on the city council. Now, you are arbitrarily saying, we got an ordinance that says this, but we're going to ignore it, and we're going to enforce our new rules. Well, you can make new rules, that's fine.
I hadn't heard of the rule.
Did he meet your qualifications when
I
he?
hadn't heard of the rule.
Well, you're trying to say now that, yes, he not only was here 90 days prior to the election, but also he's got to continue to live in the city.
Wait a minute.
And that's fine, you can have that rule, but you can't make it for the past.
But-
You
but-
can't retroactively remove somebody from
What does
office.
the state law say about his qualifications?
The state law says right here, on the one I just read, each municipality can set their own rules, and you did. You got an ordinance that says what your rules are.
Live in the city.
You want to change the rules? That's fine, change them for the future.
Okay.
But you can't retroactively remove somebody from office if he met your rules at the time he was elected.
The thing with that is, the people, when they voted for it, they thought he was in the city. Now that he's not in the city, do you think he still had that same support?
He met your qualifications when he was elected. If they don't want him, he doesn't live in there, his next qualification, he won't be eligible to run. That's fine. And if you're gonna change the rules, change them tonight. So here's our new ordinance. But you can't
Mr.
go
Jones,
backwards.
if we go by what you're saying, each person that has moved out of the city can continue to serve on the city council, whether they lived in New York or not, once they were elected.
Mr. Mayor, that's your rules.
No, that's what you're saying.
But you're exactly right. It's your rules. I didn't make the rules. I didn't pass that ordinance, and every one of y'all in this room knew that that ordinance was there. You saw it 90 days prior to the election, and you never objected to it
No,
until now.
I'm not objecting to it now.
So you're gonna leave the ordinance as it is?
Sure, we're not here to change that ordinance.
Well, then,
We're here to talk about his qualifications.
then he's qualified under your ordinance.
Not state law, he's not.
State law does not supersede when it says that the municipalities can set their own rules, and you did. So you've been cautioned, now you're gonna change the rules in the middle of the stream here.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
So,
Does anybody else have any other comments?
Yes, I do. Just one quick one. When I was elected, I had a tax